Vegas and Big Vinny B.
Show, July 31, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Last Brian and Vinny show of July of 2018. It's history. It's over.
I didn't realize how significant this was going to be.
Yeah. Don't realize how old you are, Vinny, until you realize it's the last July of 2018 you'll ever experience in your life.
Dude, I'm well aware of how old I am.
Now you're closer to death.
Wow. That's uplifting.
Yeah. Much like these two shows here tonight, this Raw and SmackDown, Raw and Nitro, 19 years ago this week.
Right.
Bored me half to death.
Right. Nitro was incredibly boring.
Not gonna lie. Yeah, last week I made the command decision to do Nitro last because at least it was more exciting than Raw.
Mm-hmm.
God. But Raw was not that exciting either, so we're just gonna stick with it for now.
So Raw first, then.
We're gonna do Raw first, Vinny, and then we'll do Nitro afterwards.
I understand.
Yeah. I almost said Thunder, then I almost said SmackDown.
Heat.
I finally got it out.
Should I write these on the whiteboard? So you can...
I'm a little tired.
Why did you point behind me? Well, I was hoping it off camera.
An invisible whiteboard.
Yes. I see.
Cameron was here today. Craig's son.
He still is here, but
how much does he weigh now?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You haven't taken him to the doctor? They weigh your child every time you take him to the doctor.
Brian, I don't take him to the doctor. My wife
supposed to take the doctor?
His mother takes him.
Does he weigh more than me?
He's taller than you, and he weighs more than
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Crying out loud. Is it that hard to answer the question? How old is he? 11?
He just turned 12.
12 years old. The big kid.
You're a small man.
Yeah. Came in here, I thought he was going to come over and ask for my autograph. He just wanted the Wi-Fi code. I was just disgusted.
Why do you want your autograph? He's known you his whole life.
He just saw me wrestling the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I should have talked to him about that. I should have insisted that he give it a good review before I gave him the Wi-Fi code.
He didn't give you a lecture.
Yeah. He didn't say he didn't like it.
No, he didn't say he didn't like it. He said,
at least I got paid.
At least you got paid.
Yeah, that's right. And I did get paid.
Well, that's the most important thing.
It is the most important thing. It's the only reason I'm wrestling in Vegas. Because I'm getting paid by Ed.
Oh, good luck with that.
No, he'll pay this time. He's going to pay one way or the other.
I was just going to say.
Okay. He is going to pay one way or the other. I can say that with utmost confidence.
I bet there's a part of you that hopes he does not have the cash.
Oh, I never. This ain't Ronda Rousey and Alicia Fox.
How many
Can you imagine they're doing that match?
How many dances at the Spearmint Rhino is Ed paying you in?
Well, if Ed had to pay me back for all of that, I mean,
okay.
Dude, I may as well work WrestleMania for that payout. All right, let's get going.
Monday Night Raw number 323 from August 2nd, 1999. So the Acolytes come right out, walking through the pyro, and they call out Big Show and The Undertaker, who had laid them out on Heat the night before. Hardcore Holly comes out instead. He says, Big Show and The Undertaker are not here yet. What is it with the Monday Night Wars and everyone not showing up on time? It's a common theme on both shows.
Well, Vinny, the answer is there's no consequences.
No, there's not.
So what the fuck do you have to show up on time for?
I guess so. So he says...
Oh, by the way, I gotta tell a story. You'll both appreciate this story.
Okay.
This wrestling business is completely different than it used to be. So we're backstage at the Black Lady show. And Mikey says, I want everyone downstairs for a meeting.
Did you groan audibly? Because I almost did just now.
I was like...
And I wasn't even there.
I was like, here we go. So he calls us all downstairs, and all of the wrestlers are there. All of the young wrestlers, and there's Ricky Morton sitting there.
Please tell me he told Ricky Morton some of you guys just don't fucking get it.
So he sits us all down and he says, okay, here are the matches, and we're going to try and get the show done in under 3 hours. Don't want to go all night. Try to stick to your time cues. And have fun out there. And please, no swearing. It's not that hard. And when the show's over, I'd like if everybody could help us maybe take down the ring.
Good one.
And suddenly Ricky Morton stood up. Or no. I killed the joke. Before Ricky Morton stands up, he goes, I just want everyone, if you can, when the show's over, to just help us take down the ring. If we all grab something, we can get this all in the truck real quick. Is there anybody here who feels they're too good to take down the ring? And Ricky Morton raises his hand. Everyone kind of laughs. I mean, he's 62 years old. He shouldn't be taking down the ring. But then he stands up and he goes, let me all tell you, kids, something. And he starts giving this big speech about how you need to respect this business. You need to tear down this ring. You need to understand these people that came before you. And I look over and Mikey, the promoter, his eyes get about this wide, and he looks over me like, oh, what's he doing? And Ricky, it wasn't even a Tim Flowers promo at all, but it was just like, he was laying down the law. He was like, no one here is too good to tear this ring down. I'm going to be over there. I'm going to be tearing this ring down. You're all going to be tearing this ring down. We got to respect this business and the people that came before us, and we got to do our part here on this show. Now, is anybody not going to help? Oh, we're all going to help, sir. He goes, thank you. He sits back down.
Smash cut to Brian hammering something with a wrench.
I'm howling because poor Mikey is just aghast. I don't know if aghast is the right word, but he just can't believe his ears that somebody stood up and gave this kind of speech. And afterwards I said, dude, you don't even understand what these speeches with Tim Flowers used to be. This was the nicest speech I've ever heard anybody cut ever at a wrestling show. And I told him at all those times where Tim
Probably the shortest too.
Tim would stand up and he would tell us all how we fucking sucked.
Yes.
And none of us would ever make it in this business. And we were all horrible.
Yes.
And we should all be paying to be on this show.
Right.
And somehow that was supposed to motivate everybody to go out there and have a good show.
Yeah.
I was like, it's crazy how different this is. And you know what's funny? When the show's over, everybody's on this ring crew, tearing shit down. Filthy Tom Lawler's got shit on his shoulder. They're all tearing this thing down. I look over and there's Ricky and Robert just standing up there on the stage, overseeing everything. Died.
Supervising.
Oh, it was great. I wish you'd have been there for this meeting. I just wish you'd have been there.
What did you do to help tear the ring down, Brian?
I did some stuff. I carried a couple things outside. I did carry a couple things outside.
Did you?
I swear to God, I carried a couple things outside. I wanted to be part of the crew.
If you look inept, they don't
I had
ask you to help.
no idea what I was doing. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't even tell you. I know there's 4 posts, and I know there's wood and stuff on top of it. That's literally it.
Well, you're not wrong.
What the fuck do you want me to do? Handle an Allen wrench?
Allen wrench.
Well, yeah. I don't know
I'd
if you do that
still
on
be
purpose.
taking that ring
You
down
know
right now.
there's been a pile of Allen wrenches outside the studio door for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know how to build stuff, Vinny. I've been building things here and there.
They're the tiniest little Allen wrenches.
I've got a
you saw.
toolbox. Yeah, I build kids' toys. Not building a goddamn wrestling ring.
It's IKEA. He's got a little IKEA wrench.
All right, let's move on here.
Okay. The Acolytes come out. They're mad at Show and Taker, but Hardcore Holly comes out instead, and he says, I will kick your ass. And he goes to the ring, and they just kill him with death.
Yeah.
And it really occurred to me here what a terrible gimmick this big shot deal is. You come out every week.
Hey, he's over.
Is he?
He's more over than he was when he was Bob Holly with the mullets, wrestling fucking nothing tag team matches
Well, he's got
that you don't even remember.
Yeah, he comes out here and gets a solid, crashing beating every...
remember.
Yeah, I remember how much his life sucks. I remember thinking, I'm so happy I'm not Bob Holly.
You remember, Vinny.
So he comes out here, he gets beat up by giants every single goddamn week. Hey, here's a question. If the Acolytes are feuding with The Undertaker now,
I was going to ask this question.
what are the Acolytes of?
Okay.
Anything? Why are they still wearing the paint on their chests?
Sure.
Hey,
Wait.
you know, they paid for it.
I had the...
They bought them tights.
The jars of paint are not yet out yet. Yeah. Just keep making the sort of...
Have you ever seen the guy that goes to the ring and he's got his boots on, but they've got like the initials of his last gimmick in another company?
Sure.
He just...
Sure.
He bought the shit.
Yeah.
My bigger question is, where was the big ceremony when the corporate ministry disbanded?
Well, it changes.
It's actually about to happen in about 10 minutes on this show, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best answer I have.
I understand.
I understand. I know.
You wanted a party
I know.
because the
I just
corporate
thought
ministry disbanded?
It was such a thing. I mean, they were the main event story forever.
Yeah.
And then Shane comes out and cuts a promo.
Well,
and it's over.
Vince is gone. They have no leader.
It's
could have thrown their own party. Like, thank God we get to disband now. We can all go flounder.
Okay, on this show, Bossman wrestled Viscera.
Yes.
They were a team.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Now they've disbanded.
It's dumb.
This whole show is done.
Greg,
We're about to see the first ever bloodbath match.
you just
with a
realized-
screw job finish.
you just realized Raw in 1999 was dumb?
Okay, this part is dumber than dumb.
Okay, fine. You're right, Craig. It's dumber than dumb.
Thank you.
Taker, Big Show, and Paul Bearer in his golf shirt arrived. That was funny. They're all wearing sunglasses inside, too.
Sure.
Edge did a promo earlier tonight. He is hurt and heartbroken that his brother Christian has joined sides with Gangrel, but he has to live with it. And then, yes, Edge versus Gangrel in the first ever bloodbath match, which is not even announced until they're coming down to the ring.
Yeah.
Now, Vinny, what is a bloodbath match?
Well, Craig, I'm glad you asked, because as Jim Ross explained, the winner is the first person to pour the, quote, vat of simulated blood over their opponent.
Now, in this vat of blood, did they go and get like a vampire cauldron to put the vat of blood in, or did they send some nitwit down to the Home Depot
Yes.
and buy a 5-gallon bucket and spray paint it black?
The latter.
Where are you gonna get a cauldron, Craig?
Dude, it's World
Try
Wrestling
a little
Federation.
harder.
If they had any time to plan this, which I realized they did not, to the building that day and said, hey, let's do a bloodbath.
Exactly. I got to the building that day, and they weren't rich yet. Like, they were making a lot of money, but they hadn't gone public yet.
With that said, there is so much more pyro on this show than Nitro, it's ridiculous.
Yes. Do you know what Vince McMahon's salary was on the day of this show? His annual salary. Who wants to guess? Vince McMahon, the owner of World Wrestling Entertainment.
$150,000.
I was going to say like $550.
$250.
Oh, there you go.
Somewhere in between.
Split the difference.
So they bought a wooden thing and they painted it black.
Yes.
Because they ain't
No,
gonna go
it's a-
buy a fucking cauldron.
So, this match was more than 6 minutes long, which by 1999 Raw standards is a marathon. I liked it until the shitty finish.
Sure.
They did a bunch of cool stuff. It was fun. And then Gangrel is winning on him. He grabs a chair, Edge kicks into his face and busts him open.
Oh, God.
On the cheek.
Yeah, like under the
Ouch.
eye. And, well, obviously the cheek is under the eye.
Sure.
So, Edge has a spear, but Gangrel grabs the chair, Edge hits it, and Gangrel hits the lift. He goes for the vat of simulated blood.
5-gallon bucket.
But the lights go.
Which Jerry Lawler says, are we sure it's simulated? Question he's probably asked a million times.
Right? So, the lights go out. Gangrel's own music hits, which made me laugh.
As soon as this happened, I knew exactly what was happening.
Well, yeah. So,
Sure as shit.
when the lights come back up, Gangrel is down, covered in blood. Christian is standing over him. He has screwed this guy. Edge wins, because Gangrel's covered in blood, and Edge and Christian have their reunite, and everyone cheers.
Oh, they're back
Yeah.
together after a week and a half. Gosh, that's awesome.
I enjoyed this wrestling match.
Hey, listen, I gotta say this. This is really dumb that we had the first ever bloodbath match on Raw, and these two men are wrestling for the opportunity to put fake blood on each other. But you know what? If there's a Raw match in the third hour with The Revival versus Titus Worldwide, they may as well make it a bloodbath match, because it's going to make it a little bit more exciting. That's what I got to say about this.
Okay.
Yeah. It was something new.
It was something new.
It wasn't
That's
the
true.
same thing we see every single week, without fail.
Shane McMahon was walking backstage, then Steve Austin was walking backstage.
Then Shane McMahon walked out.
And then Shane McMahon walked out for a promo. He said his father had said farewell last week, and these fans should have cheered.
Hold on, before that, Vinny. He begins by saying, so, you're all probably wondering where I was last week when my father said goodbye. I was like, I didn't even notice you were gone. I guess he's a heel. I laughed when I heard him say that. Who gives a shit where you were?
So the fans should have cheered Vince, but instead they mocked him. They were led by Steve Austin and Jim Ross, who pointed out. He said, thanks to Vince McMahon, the World Wrestling Federation is more recognizable than Bugs Bunny or Time Warner. He listed all the big names in the roster.
Yeah.
Austin.
Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Mr. Ass.
Yes. Yes. Said he did say Mr. Ass last, which I think had to be an intentional joke. He knew how stupid it would sound. But said none of them would be there if not for Vince, nor would there be Ted Turner's WCW Wrestling and their roster, which Vince had created long ago. Talks about Triple H beating Austin at SummerSlam for
He's right. Because if Vince hadn't fucked over Crockett, Ted would have never bought him. Well, we don't know that, but there is something to that.
Sure. I don't think it's exactly the
That's not what he meant.
thought process he had in mind.
Yeah, but there is something to that.
Here, Craig, is where Shane McMahon officially disbanded the corporate ministry.
They all go their separate ways.
Until I tell you otherwise, whatever he said.
Yes.
Basically, they're broken up for now. And I guess the Taker and the Acolytes are free to feud with each other if they want to.
Sure.
Shane, he says, I'm going to focus on one man, and that is that big, jacked-up scumbag Test. He warned him to stay away from my sister. So Test comes out, says Shane and the posse are going to be his business. Soon it'll be just him and Shane, and then Stephanie will be an only child.
That was a good line. Mm-hmm. I like that line.
I guess.
They're not afraid to threaten death, as we learned here on this show and on the other show.
I was thinking there's been a lot of people who've dated women who didn't get along with their brothers. And I'm trying to think of, don't worry, honey, I'll kill your brother.
Yes.
I don't see it going over very well.
Well, how many brothers try to sacrifice their sister
That's true.
to a demonic entity?
That's a fair point. This
Thank
is a
you.
unique relationship.
Thank you.
I thought Shane cut a very good promo here.
Unique. Let me write that
He
down.
was a good heel here.
Yeah. Road Dogg is backstage, frustrated with Kane. They had communication issues.
You don't say.
Well, he can't.
He never talks.
Use a little voice box.
The Millennium gets here in 168 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Al Snow and Pepper were trying to flush Head down a toilet.
But he didn't fit.
Why did this happen? This is like the biggest waste of 20 seconds of my life.
Why does anything with Al Snow happen? That's the big question.
This gets worse, by the way.
No shit?
Yep.
It's Pepper. I remember that.
Big Show and Undertaker versus Kane and Road Dogg. Show and Taker got a mashup theme, which means Taker has now had like 400 different songs in the past year. I'm watching this. Road Dogg.
Gotta sell them CDs, Vinny.
I guess so. Road Dogg is a large human being. He looked like smaller than Cameron, actually. He's monster. This also got a lot of time, as for 1 week, Monday Night Raw was once again a pro wrestling show. So Dogg gets a pair of low blows, and the Evil Giants gets the hot tag to Kane. People are jumping up and down for the big red
Kane
comeback.
was so over on this show. Second only to Steve Austin and The Rock.
Third, then. Kane is on fire, JR says. Freezing, dude.
Yeah.
And then Kane hits his giant
I like how
chokeslam on...
Vince is legitimately offended that Jim Ross made a fire joke about a guy who didn't really get burned.
I thought it was funny. I thought my joke was funny.
Okay.
So, Kane chokeslams Taker. The building is roaring. Everyone's going crazy. And
It's
then,
on fire.
It is on fire. Show distracts Kane with a chair.
It's lit.
Taker tombstones Kane and pins him. That was fucking stupid. Of all the times to do a clean pin finish, you take the guy who's third hottest right now and just pin him. Road Dogg's right there.
Yes.
So they pin Kane.
Clearly a swerve must be coming soon.
I guess. Big Show takes 6 steps running the ropes to hit a splash on Kane. The Acolytes come out. Holly comes out. He attacks him with a baseball bat. Ross calls it a club. Holly issues some kind of Taker and Big Show, and he leaves.
Tells them they better watch themselves.
And they kind of look at each other like, okay, whatever. Rock arrives. He is a complete asshole to the lackey who's carrying his bag.
Thank you.
But he has to throw $700 at him.
Well,
That's a good tip.
You can treat people like crap as long as you pay them? Oh, wait.
Tony laughed too.
they showed Rock doing the first pitch at a Pittsburgh Pirates game back at Freever Stadium, which just looked awful. I don't even live in Pittsburgh. I'm as happy this place is gone. Clips of the strap match from Fully Loaded.
Dude, this
Like 3 minutes of it.
This fucking Triple H push is killing me. It's absolutely killing me.
It doesn't stop.
They have to show
For decades.
him beating The Rock with his move,
Yeah,
of course.
not just beating him.
He must hit that pedigree in a strap match.
Billy Gunn interferes twice, once with a club.
Yep.
None of this is enough.
No.
Hunter must hit his move and win.
Yes, yes.
And he pins Rock in a strap match. And they air like 3 minutes of it, too. So,
I'll say it again. They have The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mhm.
And fighting for the championship match at SummerSlam is Triple H. And The Rock is wrestling Mr. Ass.
Correct. Yeah, it's dumb.
You know, it's amazing to look back because if you watch Raw and SmackDown today, like, unless someone's hurt, everybody is on TV every single week. Roman Reigns is like pushed as a top guy every single show, every single week, every single year for years now. Rock and Steve Austin in the middle of the Attitude Era, we see him for like a segment or two. They never wrestle on TV. And fucking Rock is wrestling Mr. Ass at SummerSlam, and Triple H is getting a title shot. It's like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin are underutilized in the Attitude Era.
well,
I watch this show and I think, why aren't you doing more with these guys? What are you doing? Why is Hunter fighting for the title that he's going to win?
keeping in mind, I'm thinking about this off the top of my head right now, but they do, because, spoiler alert, everyone, Steve Austin goes away for a while after SummerSlam. They knew they would have to do, Rock and somebody. They already done Rock and Taker, and how the best way to prepare Hunter to face The Rock would be to have him beat Austin.
I guess.
That's the best I can do. I have no explanation for The Rock was with Mr. Ass. Speaking of whom, Billy Gunn and China come out for a promo. I believe China stole The Undertaker's hat.
Actually, Richie Sambora is what I wrote.
So, Mr. Ass says at SummerSlam it would be the premier, the primo, the perfect ass against the people. So when he calls himself an ass, Ryan's already done. That's a compliment. But when he wants to insult someone, he also calls them an ass.
Sure.
It's like he's a smurf. It's so smurfing good. So, talks about his ass. Rock is jealous of it. Here's a picture of The Rock's ass, he says. And they had a video of a morbidly obese person in a thong walking in slow motion.
He says, I took a picture of The Rock's ass when he got a shower. It's creepy enough. Then they show the video of this giant, naked, fat ass. I know you say this fat ass was wearing a thong. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I think it was a naked ass.
I was giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I have no idea how they got away with this on national television. The crowd, I don't think, I swear to God in my life, I've ever heard a reaction from a crowd of greater disgust than when this appeared on the screen. Like, people were vomiting. It was just the most disgusted sound coming out of the audience when they showed up on the big screen. It's a big ass walking in slow motion.
With the dimples of the moon in it.
I'm sure Vince thought this was so funny.
I'm sure he did.
Rock shows up on the screen. He says that's a video of Billy's mom's fat ass.
China was so appalled.
He says,
Rock said this.
if I hit you, Mr. Ass, I'll kill you. If I miss, the wind will give you pneumonia and you'll die. Take your pick.
That's a great line.
That was a much better line, yes.
They cut his promo as the best thing on the show. But he's wrestling Mr. Ass at SummerSlam.
He sure is. It gets worse, Brian.
That's impossible.
It gets worse. Wait till you hear the stips. So, yeah, it was a Rock promo. And I remember The Rock being great, but we go back and watch him every week, and every week he blows you away again. Like, you expect him to be great, but he's so much greater than even you remember. He is a one of a kind. Earlier today, D'Lo Brown tried to get Mark Henry to eat some fruits and vegetables.
So the story here is that even though they have viscera, who's like 550 pounds or whatever, and they got the big who's getting really fat, Mark Henry's the one they want to lose some weight. So, he's on a diet in real life and in storyline. And he hates it in both.
He is so sad staring at these peppers and mushrooms and carrots. Can a brother get some sauce, he says. The answer was no. He did not get any sauce for his vegetables. Jeff Jarrett versus D'Lo Brown with the Intercontinental title and the European title, both on the line.
When they announce, out of nowhere, this is a champion versus champion match.
Yeah.
Title versus title. For free here on television with no build. I thought, 1999 Raw. Wonder what kind of bullshit finish we'll get here. Well, they fucking gave us a finish, and now we have a dual champion.
Yes. So, the finish was, the ref gets bumped, Deborah hits the ring with both belts, and then begins to disrobe.
And both boobs.
And she exposes her bosom.
Yes, good. Luckily, she didn't leave one at ringside.
We have seen countless matches where this has led to wrestlers' eyes going wide, their jaws dropping, and then Jeff Jarrett beats them. But D'Lo Brown is apparently the only guy in the entire company who's not a virgin. He looked at them and said, yeah, nice boobs. He grabbed a belt, he leveled Jarrett with it, and he pinned him.
Yes. And he won his
The
championship.
only guy who comes off like a man. So then he leaves with both belts. He's gone, out of the picture, done. They spend like 3 minutes focusing on Jarrett and Deborah bickering. That goes all the way through the break. When they get back to the break, they do not interview D'Lo, the new champion. They interview Jarrett, the loser.
Yes.
He blames the loss on Deborah, tells her to beat it, and says he's going to get his rematch at SummerSlam.
Boy, I can't wait.
Steve Austin comes out for a promo.
This segment was so bizarre.
He threatens to beat up Hunter when Big Show and Taker interrupt. And Taker demands his title rematch, but then he jumps Austin and leaves him out before Austin can say yes.
He says, if you don't give me my... This is the key. If you don't give me my deserved championship rematch right now, I'm going to kick your ass. Then he kicks his ass. And him and the Big Show, they beat him up and they stomp on him a few times. And then they just leave. Now, obviously, if you watch the show, it all plays in the show-long storyline. But my favorite term, in a vacuum, their idea was to come out, threaten him, kick him a few times, and leave.
That's his plan.
Hell of a plan, Undertaker. You're a hell of a dead man.
So Austin limps out during the break, and Michael Cole says he'll try to get an interview later. You can imagine how that turns out. Big Boss Man versus Viscera for the hardcore title.
Oh, what a battle.
They plugged this earlier. I screamed. I had very, very low expectations. This exceeded them. It was a fine hardcore TV match.
They hit each other with stuff outside.
Viscera, as noted, is a 550-pound man who wrestles in a heavy leather trench coat. I bet that thing's 100 pounds on its own.
Sure.
He's out there. He actually had a very cool belly-to-belly on the Big Boss Man. I'll
Yes.
say that. And they brawl through the crowd forever. Viscera tries to splash through a table, but he misses. And Bossman hits him with mace and a nightstick, and he pins him. Because being maced and being hit with a nightstick sucks. That makes sense. I was fine with this.
It was fine.
It was fine. Cole tries to interview Austin, who grabs the mic right away, says Taker can get his rematch, and he'll kick Big Show's ass too. Triple H arrives an hour and a half after the 2-hour show has started. Why even bother? Just take the week off. You flew out here to be on TV for 30 minutes?
Hey, this fucking guy shows up 90 minutes late. Then he's furious about what the main event is tonight.
Yeah.
Like he showed up earlier.
Yeah, if you've been on
Maybe.
time, jackass.
Maybe you'd have a chance to remedy the situation. He's throwing shit all over the place. He's furious that Austin is putting his title on the line against The Undertaker tonight. If you're the number one contender, you're the number one contender, right? He's not the number one contender to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
He's the number one contender to the title. So who gives a shit if The Undertaker wins? He's getting his title match at SummerSlam, right?
That's how it should be.
Not to mention, later, he's all upset about this, even though Undertaker is contractually obligated to get a rematch. How long has Hunter been here? He's clueless to this fact.
5 years, as you noted.
Yes.
Yes. So, it's 1999, everyone. There's no smartphones. There's no tablets. You might have to go to the library to use internet access or the school computer lab. I don't think they even have those anymore. But this internet is taken off. Everyone's got a website now. And they want you to go visit WWF.com.
Yes.
For a lot of people, probably for the very first time. I bet, in all seriousness, there are probably people who bought their first computer to go see WWF.com. So they had a commercial which compared a visit to WWF.com to getting a prostate exam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
What the hell? That's their plug? Anyway, so yes, Hunter throws a tantrum when he hears about the main event.
It was a plug.
A plug, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that until...
Give me the eyebrow.
Test comes out for a match with Rodney, but Rodney and Joey Abs jump him in the aisle. The highlight of this beating was when Rodney whips Test into the post and let's go way too early.
Oh my God, I died.
So Test has to run like 20 yards. He's running like Usain Bolt.
He does an Irish whip, and this poor guy has to run legitimately 15 to 18 feet
Yes.
before he gets to this post.
Oh, God.
He looked like the biggest geek of all time.
So Joey Abs leaves. The match begins as Test and Rodney. Rodney was flying into the steps about as hard as I've ever seen a human being hit the steps. Probably because Test actually threw him into the steps. Then Test begins to work the arm for some reason. Test lays him out and does top rope elbow smashes to the arm.
Yeah. To the arm.
Okay. Puts him in a flying chicken wing. Rodney submits.
He wanted to submit him, so he had to work over the arm.
Yeah. Then he Pillmanizes the arm for good measure. Joey Abs returns, but Test has a chair and is warding him off. Test, like a psychopath, whacks the arm with a chair one more time. And Jerry Lawler says, Test is right, or excuse me, Shane is right to protect Stephanie from Test. He's a sicko. I agree. Test was a lunatic on the show. Triple H says he's waited 5 years for this opportunity. He won't let it get taken away tonight.
Cole's trying to interview him. He bullies him. I've waited 5 years. I'm not going to come to this building and discover somebody else is getting my shot. Once again, show up on time. No one's getting your shot. You're still getting your match at SummerSlam. Calm the fuck down. Do you understand how this business works? Contractually obligated rematch. This guy's running NXT now. I hope he's smartened up.
As he's ranting here, there's a guy in the back wearing blue shorts and a blue shirt
With a cane?
and a towel over his head. Hold that thought, Brian.
Okay.
So, Steve Blackman comes out, shows the video of himself running down Ken Shamrock in a car.
Okay, so last week, Vinny, you said that you believed that Blackman was the driver.
Yes.
Okay.
Was there
I watched it again very, very carefully. They did not do a cut, but they panned over to the car, then they panned back to Shamrock, and when they panned back to the car, Blackman's walking.
I see.
So I think they did the old switcheroo.
They may have had a stunt driver
I
there.
think they had a stunt driver.
That would make me feel better about the whole thing.
Yes.
So, Blackman claims it had been an accident. He did not need a car to beat Shamrock's ass. All he needed was his hands and feet, because he is a lethal weapon. This leads to Steve Blackman versus Val Venus. And Ross says this fight between an assassin and a porn star should be a dandy matchup.
You know what it was not?
No.
A dandy matchup.
There's a point here where Val either used a very sloppy, wacky lucha submission, or just the worst jiu-jitsu I've ever seen.
It's probably a lucha submission. He was steel. He was a
He was,
CMLL
yes.
heavyweight champion.
Yes. But I hope he was better than this. It didn't look good.
Why would he be?
I don't have an answer.
I think he magically went to Mexico and was...
Well, this would be he was good in Mexico and then came here and got worse then. This hold sucks is what I'm saying.
I see, yeah.
And Blackman again did his dog lifting his leg counter to someone coming down off the ropes at him.
So stupid.
And then out comes Shamrock in a blue shirt and blue shorts with a chain.
Oh,
So he'd been the one
I see.
in the back. And I don't know if
He was so calm back there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if he was supposed to be on camera or not. He took the time to put a towel over his head. I don't know. So he he chased Blackman out of the ring, and Blackman's running through the crowd. And watching this, I was reminded of a story from one of Chris Jericho's books. Jericho antagonized Shamrock, and Shamrock chases him to the back. And so Jericho runs through the curtain, and he slows down. And Shamrock, a few steps later, comes running through the curtain at full speed and tackles him down to the ground. And Jericho screams, "What are you doing?" Shamrock says, "I knew you couldn't outrun me." He gets up. That's what happened to Steve Blackman here.
Yes.
He runs, but he's running like, okay, I'll just keep running. Ken Shamrock's running as fast as he possibly can with a chain in his hand. He just starts clobbering this guy. And eventually, he is swarmed by geeks, and Blackman crawls away, and the segment ends. But it made me laugh. So Steve Austin versus Undertaker in the advertised as a World Championship no-holds-barred anything-goes match.
And boy, was it ever. Let me tell you. Excuse me. Undertaker versus Steve Austin for the championship in a no-holds-barred, anything-goes match.
Yes.
With 4 minutes left of television time.
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
I don't think it was that long, but yes.
Taker and Show came out. Austin's on the ramp. Hunter passes him. He runs down the side of the ramp, says, "This isn't happening. I'm the #1 contender. If you want Austin, you have to go through me."
Now he's a real idiot. You're guaranteed a championship match at SummerSlam. So now he's putting his #1 contendership on the line against The Undertaker.
That is true.
What a moron.
I had thought of all this.
What an idiot.
So a giant brawl breaks out, and the Acolytes run in, and then Kane, and then Road Dogg, and then Hardcore Holly, and then Mr. Ass, Rock for a huge pop, and the show ends as Austin stuns Ass, and Hunter at the same time pedigrees Dog.
Yes. And meanwhile, Jim Ross at one point was screaming, "Ass is choking the rattlesnake."
I had fun watching this show.
This is such a weird business.
It is a bizarre business.
I'll say.
And by the way, next week, spoiler, because it auto-played, next week the Millennial Clock is at T-minus 25 minutes. Can't believe it's so close.
Can't wait to see how that turns out.
I honestly thought it was at the Millennial.
Like
the Millennium.
The last day of
I thought it was
December.
like in December or something like that.
I remember this countdown clock going for like 3 months, and it went for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect amount of time to build somebody. Brian, do you have my music ready?
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
Greg, fill some time.
That's not enough.
No. The finishes on this show were: win via blood stoppage when one vampire screwed another vampire to help his vampire brother win. Clean pin in a tag match. Pin after boobs and a belt shot. Clean pin in a hardcore match. Clean submission. No finish due to lunatic with a chain. No holds barred, anything goes, world championship match canceled.
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 That's good.
It was rained out.
Man, oh man. And then let's talk about Nitro. Let me begin here.
Everyone get some caffeine or Coke.
For 5 straight minutes, nothing happens. They got a replay here. They got a replay there. They got a replay here. They got a replay there. There's no live action. Nothing happens in the ring. There's no match. And then it says, "This portion of Nitro is sponsored by Snickers."
Which means they went to a commercial.
God, if I were fucking Snickers, that's the portion of this fucking show I sponsored. Get me out of here.
So, in finer detail, it opened with the Hogan, Sting, Nash, Savage, Goldberg package, which I think was on last week's show too.
No, this was the shortened version.
Oh, yeah, the shortened version.
The legitimate version was incredible.
Oh, this short version was also incredible.
Yes.
See, the longer version had commentary.
Yes.
So even as convoluted as the story is when you actually look at how it plays out,
They tried to explain it.
moment to moment, there was someone there to tell you what was going on at that point in time. Here, it's just random clips with no commentary, no dialogue. I had no idea what was going on. If I had not been watching these shows for the past for years or whatever and paying attention with my own eyes, I would assume most of this was shot out of order. It was so completely random. This made the whole thing even less logical. Then a Harlem Heat video. Stevie Ray is no longer in the NWO, and they reunited on Thunder.
Maybe he also thought they were disbanded by Shane McMahon.
He may have. The Jersey Triad came out and cut a horrible promo full of malfunctioning microphones and mumble dialogue.
DDP tells Yo Mama Chokes about Mrs. Benoit.
Yeah.
Says David defends the U.S. title way better than Benoit ever did. You ain't got it. A guy like David has it way more than you, Benoit. Those were some legit fighting words right there.
That was hokey.
He was in for a beating later.
Bam Bam Bigelow and Canyon versus Harlem Heat. So, this is funny. Jersey Triad are tag champs, and because they are Flair's buddies, when they defend the belts, he lets it do handicap matches. It's all 3 of them. I guess there's 2 men. But this is a non-title match. Therefore, they must fight fair.
Yeah.
And they can only do 2-on-2.
Yes.
So the storyline is, you must win a fair fight to earn the reward of a completely unfair fight where you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I got to mention something very important here that plays out for the rest of the show here. At the beginning of this Nitro, in this opening match here on the show, this crowd was so hot.
Sure.
And what's the match? The reunited Harlem Heat, who were over like 2 canes, against Canyon and Bam Bam Bigelow.
One of them was Kane first.
they go crazy for this match. They go crazy for these guys. Just heat blowing the roof off the place. Remember that.
No pyro.
So, let's see. It was not a very good match.
Something was weird with the ropes. Did you notice that? Like everybody,
playing a lot.
Canyon missed the ropes at one point and snapped his neck. You know, you do that deal, and then Booker was hitting him, and he hit him funny.
Well, there was the heat spot was going to be somebody. I guess it would have been Booker hitting the ropes and Bigelow hitting him, but everyone fucked up everything. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But they did get the heat on him. He's cut off, and Bam Bam reaches his arm out for a tag, and Canyon says, "No, I have to hit some moves."
Many.
He just does some moves.
That's his deal.
And he tags in Bam Bam. This guy, great heel heat with me. So it goes on for a while. There's interference, but it's fought off, and Booker goes up top. Paige goes to shove him off the ropes. Now, what happened was, I'll tell you what happened first. As Paige goes to get Booker, Benoit comes out and trips Paige on the apron. But the camera almost entirely misses Benoit. When I went back and watched it a second time, you can barely see him. I thought Paige just slipped.
That is exactly what I thought happened. And not only that, Chris Benoit is not in his gear.
No.
He's in street clothes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought that DDP was going up to the apron to knock Booker off the top rope, and he slipped and the belt went flying. And then, like, some dude ran like a stagehand, goes to grab the belt.
Yeah.
Then the stagehand's in the ring, like, chopping people. Like, this is fucking Chris Benoit right there.
So Paige does this amazing bump. The tag belt goes flying in the air. His feet go flying high in the air. Probably the best bump of his whole career. And Booker hits a missile dropkick and pins Canyon. And then Benoit cuts a promo on Paige.
And the place goes crazy for that finish.
For this non-title win. Benoit cuts a promo on Paige. He knows all about Paige's duplicity.
That's what he said.
It's a weird word to use here. He vowed to show Paige that he does have it tonight.
And then he says, "Don't you ever bring my mother into this again."
They had a match later on based on Yo Mama jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, do you think that's weird? I will read my next sentence here verbatim.
Okay.
Lenny and Lodi were talking about footy pajamas.
Yeah, they wanted to know where Shaq got his pink bunny slippers.
I see.
It's a good question. It's actually, where did Bagwell get them?
Sting comes out for a promo. He says he wants a match with Sid Vicious and Rick Steiner tonight. Now, last week they did a tag match, and Hogan was his partner, which Sting mentioned. And then he mentions here, I need a partner tonight. And I thought at the time that he was going to ask Hogan to be his partner again.
Yeah.
And he says, who do you fans think I should pick? And they all say, Goldberg. I thought, well, you fuck yourself over now, you Stinger.
No, but that was
But that was the plan.
That was the plan.
They outsmarted me.
Which was hilarious because, as you said, Hogan wanted a partner last week.
Yeah.
Chose Sting.
Yeah.
Sting needs a partner this week. I'll choose Goldberg.
Didn't choose Hogan. Maybe it was going to circle, and next week Goldberg will ask Hogan to team with him.
You know, I don't think that's going to happen, but
So,
it could on this show.
Anyway,
I'm pretty sure Goldberg has a concussion by the end of the show.
I know exactly.
By the end of the show, he had giant fucking staples in the back. Or glue. They glued it.
Yes.
So Sting says, I will be back at the top of the hour to get Bill Goldberg's answer.
I talk about this next segment very quickly. Out comes the Shat. Now, I hate his wrestling matches.
Okay.
They're fucking terrible, okay? But I like his promos. He entertains me when he talks. Sure. I just wish he never had to work. He was legit pissed off when Bagwell came out in blackface.
I'm sure he was.
He was unaware that he was going to do that, apparently, and boy, was he mad.
Good.
Cuts a promo, says this is bullshit. Maybe that would have been funny in the 20s, but it's the 90s now. He says, I can whip anybody's ass without my red shoes. I'm a 3-time world karate champion, and I did it without the red shoes. Says, it might have been funny to everybody else, it wasn't funny to me. I'm going to whip somebody's ass tonight without my red shoes. He calls out the two girly guys.
How ironic.
I'm thinking that. And he would show them where his pink shoes came from.
So it was Kat versus Lenny and Lodi.
It was all downhill from there.
I was unsure, really, even to this point, if this is a handicap match or just a singles match where one guy is also getting beat up.
It's a handicap match.
Was it a handicap match officially?
Well, I don't know, but he beat the shit out of both guys and pinned Lenny.
He did, but there was also a time where he was beating the hell out of Lenny and Lodi was just on the floor giving signs around.
I think it was Shat versus Lenny, but the ref was just incompetent.
He kicked Lenny in the face and pinned him. Destroyed both these men.
But do you remember, like, 2 weeks ago where Lenny and Lodi met with J.J. Dillon?
I do.
Recent entry into the Matt Cleary Memorial Hall of Awesome, J.J. Dillon. And J.J. happily re-signed them to deals.
Right, because they're brothers.
And I said at the time, for what? Doing jack shit on television and losing all the time? Well, they come out here right after signing these new deals. They both get their ass kicked and beaten by Shad. I'm just thinking, this is why this company went out of business. They just signed everybody willy-nilly. What was J.J. Dillon thinking at this point?
It was so important for JJ to sign these two, and these two guys come
For
prancing
what?
out. Looks like they've been shot with a glitter cannon, and they're sucking on lollipops, and they're making innuendos the whole time. Why did they need to sign these guys?
But that'd be fine if they were winning.
Understood.
They lost before. They lost now.
I guess he thinks people are tuning in to watch them.
I guess.
I don't know what you want me to say, dude. That's the best I can do. Mean Gene brings Hogan out for a promo.
Okay, I didn't write down this promo, but I wrote down a whole bunch of words that Hogan said in order. Are you ready?
Okay.
Because as soon as he goes, brah, it's like the first word he says. I was like, I gotta write all these down.
Okay.
We had a bra, man, Mrs. Kevina, brother, my friend, with a pump on Jack, brother, let's shoot with this thing, brother, man, brother, Kevina, and finally, well, let me tell you, Mean Gene, that was at the end. And actually, as I'm writing all this down, because I just think he's just going to spout bullshit. This is just, but why waste my time? I'm just going to write down all these funny words. He actually cut one of his better promos of all time, at least in WCW lately. Just talking about how him and Kevin have had problems for years, and you think you're just going to come in here and take my title, but I've heard that from a dozen guys.
His spot.
I've heard that from people for years. Everybody comes and tries. I'm still the king of the mountain. I'm going to kick your ass at the pay-per-view.
And it's a shoot.
Danced and posed, and everybody went crazy. It was a good promo.
He said Nash had left him in a puddle of blood last week. Did that happen? Did
Yes.
I dream that?
Remember we told you?
Remember there was a
you didn't
chair
remember?
shot, and he cut
that's
himself
right,
before
yes.
the chair even got to him, bleeding.
And you had missed it entirely because the camera spent literally
Yes.
15 seconds on the
then they
cut.
cut away. Okay, that's right.
I didn't
Okay.
write it down, but he mentioned being left in a pool of blood, and Gene says something like, I was very, very concerned for your future at that point.
Hogan also points out he has shaved his beard.
He
I didn't
pointed that out
notice.
numerous times.
Yes, he says, look at me all clean shaven with his big giant Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's shooting with Nash. He's not going to let Nash have his spot. That's the end. Sting comes out to get Bill Goldberg's answer.
I just saw him.
Well, that, but also, we're already an hour in. The combination of we're already an hour in, but also we're only an hour in because nothing has happened on the show.
No.
Nothing has happened in the first hour of the show. There's 2 more to go. So he wants Goldberg's answer. The camera's on stage. Goldberg is walking.
This is even better than a squeegee. Sid has the biggest fucking snow shovel.
Yeah.
It's fucking August.
Yes.
Where did he get a snow shovel?
What arena were they in?
Fuck if I know, but it wasn't snowing there.
No, but they...
In Antarctica. He swings his snow shovel.
He clobbers Goldberg in the back. It may have caught him with a shovel, but I'm pretty sure what happened was Steiner grabs Goldberg and throws him over something. It's a cart or whatever. And Bill ends up like on his back on top of this, and he falls backwards the other way and lands on the back of his neck on the cement.
I thought he was dead.
Jesus.
It was so bad.
Imagine taking a German suplex from Brock Lesnar where he throws you and you land on the back of your neck on the cement. That's what this looked like.
Yes.
So I'm also assuming this is where he got the back of his head all broken up.
Yes. By the way, there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, there was no need for a snow shovel in
Not in August. But I'm sure they keep them on hand for when January rolls around.
Sure.
Somewhere in that arena, Sid was looking for something big and heavy to use, and he found a cartoon-sized snow shovel. So then they lock Goldberg in this room. Sting runs out to try and make the save, but they beat him up because there's 2 of them. Then they go right back to the ring anyway. Sting makes a comeback. We've talked about how hysterically terrible Sid is at throwing punches. We talked about how funny he is when he sells punches.
Yeah. 80 degrees, by the way, Sioux Falls today.
Yeah. I didn't say it was snowing today. So, Sting makes his comeback but gets cut off. They cut backstage to the door, and in the nick of time, Goldberg kicks it open. So hokey. And he runs down, and he clears the ring, and he's alive. Bleeding from the back of the head, I wrote here, if only I knew what was to come. So they replay like the entire segment. They go to break, they come back, and they replay it all again.
Yeah.
This was maybe a 90-minute show stretched out over 3 hours.
It's like Raw nowadays, this women's evolution stuff. But not only do they replay on every show, but the music is getting more dramatic by the week.
They replay it like the entire... I said that already. Evan Courageous versus Disco Inferno.
Every week, Bobby predicts that Evan is going to make it big.
Mm-hmm.
Every week. He missed on that one.
So they had a very basic match. Evan was every small babyface ever. All hip tosses and drop kicks and arm wringers. And Disco takes over, works him over a bit, misses an elbow, they go back and forth. And after Evan hit like a dozen drop kicks early, he goes to the well one too many times, he misses one, and Disco hits the stunner and wins. Fine. It's fine pro wrestling.
It's funny, the announcers were like, don't adjust your sets, Disco's pants are blah, blah, blah. And it was like the tamest thing he's ever worn.
They were very shiny gold bell bottoms.
Sure.
Which I did notice when he went up top. They also had pockets. That made me laugh.
That's where you put your gimmicks.
Tori Wilson and David Flair did a promo.
This was they're backstage on a couch. He's wearing the same shirt I'm wearing right now. He's got his belt over his shoulder. His bleached hair. Tori's rubbing his face.
Trying to get the red off of it.
You're the greatest champion of all time, she says. I know I am.
Too much.
Why are you defending it so often? I talked to my dad on the Learjet. Now I will defend once every 30 days with Charles as ref. I need to rest my body.
That's what happened.
That's it.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, after last week's match, probably does seem to rest his body.
See, I'm gonna ask, what is worse now? David Flair's matches or David Flair's promos?
Oh, it's promos. It's not one of his greatest matches. One of the greatest in history last week. I've never seen anything resembling a great promo.
Forget even having chemistry with Tori Wilson.
Right.
He seemed almost annoyed she was there.
But didn't they actually date?
You wrote a book, you told me.
I'm almost positive.
It sounds right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All
keyword is did.
All I know is I wrote, God bless David, he's so...
That's unbelievably terrible.
That's what I got out of this segment.
I did some research. I was wondering when the Demon was coming in.
Why?
I don't know.
Of all the things to look up,
They
I mean, it's
started-
1999.
They started vignettes.
they're dead in a year and a half.
They started vignettes like 3-4 weeks ago, and we haven't seen one on the show. I think they're completely writing off the Kiss character
Oh, okay.
on the network.
Well, they probably have to pay a lot for those Kiss songs.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Gene Simmons is not known for giving...
Oh, no. It was David and Stacy Keebler. That's what it was.
Okay.
I knew
Well, in that case, if he was dating Stacy then, this makes more sense
I
now.
don't think she showed up yet. She won a contest.
I see.
To date David?
So they do this
I'm
promo.
afraid that wasn't a contest.
That's good.
They do this promo.
Crappy prize, man.
There's
Hey, maybe David Flair's a nice guy, Craig.
Maybe he is.
He's just a bad wrestler and a terrible promo and has no charisma. But he could be a nice guy.
He's a forest ranger now.
Yeah. Yeah, someone needs to watch the trees.
Someone does a great job taking care of trees.
Yeah. Fuck, I'd love to be a forest ranger.
You realize there's a lot of work in that.
Well,
It's not just putting on that cool hat and talking about Smokey the Bear.
damn it. I feel like just be sitting outside all day.
You also know we live in Washington and it rains here a lot.
There is that, yeah.
Anyway, so they do this promo, and then there's seriously a 20-second video about how there used to be great U.S. champions, and now David Flair is a joke. Sid does a promo for 20 seconds that is half screamed and half whispered.
He was so mad, I couldn't understand half of what he said.
I have no idea what
I
the hell
wanted to
it was.
hear all of it.
Hugh Morris and Jerry Flynn versus Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas.
What in the fuck was this match? Dean Malenko is just floundering. And so what do they... Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas versus Hugh Morris and Jerry Flynn. And they go out there and they wrestle for an hour. Malenko gets a hot tag. It's deadly, deadly quiet in the building. Douglas is still trying to do this Pittsburgh plunge, but he pins himself every time. Looks terrible. He's still trying. And then, at the end, they steal the hardcore trophy. They say they're taking it home to Fit Finley.
Dean Malenko, hardcore legend, I guess.
Yes. Now I got
Not Shane Douglas, who just came from Barbed Wire City.
Sure.
Craig, did you get the correction last week about the Finley story?
No.
It wasn't sent to you?
No.
Wow. Anyway. So,
Yes.
I'll just read this verbatim, Craig.
Okay.
You can probably figure out who sent it.
I already know, probably.
Craig fucked up the Finley story.
I know exactly who said it.
Yeah. WCW did not bring standard tables, so they just used one that they found at the building. It was made of Formica, not Formica, not particle board. When Formica breaks, it breaks into a hard fiberglass. It created a sharp edge,
Yep.
Gotcha.
which almost sliced his leg off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what happened.
So yeah, this match was terrible. The stuff with Douglas and Hugh Morris in the early portion where they were on, to say they were on different pages would be an insult to pages.
They were in different libraries.
They had no idea what was going on. And then eventually they try to use the hardcore trophy. It backfires. Flynn clotheslines Morris. Shane pins Flynn with a Pittsburgh plunge. And Revolution, Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas steal the hardcore trophy.
Revolution?
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
No, they started last week.
I don't remember them calling themselves that. Fuck, when I think of Revolution,
Sure.
I think of Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas in World Championship
In
Wrestling.
1999.
Yeah. Woo!
Changing the world here.
I
at
think
the
they were losing
last
this
quarter
war.
of their careers. Goldberg music video.
I like Dean Malenko, but rewatching these has not done him any
His
favors.
WCW run was, especially the second half of it. He was fun when he was wrestling the cruiserweights and having great matches every week. What a novel concept. But then the Horseman thing sucked. Anyway, Goldberg music video. They actually played the Megadeth song.
Crush 'em.
Yeah,
Bizarre.
it was not Symphony of Destruction. That was sad. But
Well, this wasn't a very good Megadeth song.
no, that's my point. of all the licensed music to leave on, it's this one. So they played the whole video. Okay.
That's weird. Like I said, they're cutting out all the Kiss stuff, but they Megadeth video in
Yeah,
this week.
Well, it depends on who gives you the rights to what.
I guess. Rick Steiner comes out. Did anyone at any point in the show notice Scott Hudson saying anything about Rick Steiner?
No.
Apparently, he's been saying very mean things about Rick Steiner.
Well, for a
Okay.
few weeks. I guess the whole reason that they brought Scott Hudson in was so that Rick Steiner could beat him up after a few weeks.
See,
Because Shivani didn't want to get beaten up. Tenay didn't want to get beaten
Well,
up.
who does?
Obviously, Bobby didn't want to get beaten up. And Hudson was okay getting his ass kicked, so...
well, what's happened?
Sure.
Rick grabbed him.
Why? Like, what the hell did this do for Rick Steiner to beat up Scott Hudson?
I don't know. He drags Hudson into the ring, hits a suplex on him, punches him for a bit. This all results in the fans barking for Rick.
Yeah, like that sure worked great.
So they go to commercial, they come back, Hudson's in a neck brace, he's getting strapped to a board. Bishop's on commentary, and first he's doing the low voice. Are we on? Are we on? Bobby, are you with me? And they take Hudson all the way out to the ambulance in the parking lot, and they're trying to imply that this man has suffered some sort of catastrophic injury.
Sure.
And as they're loading him in, like a switch gets flipped. And Bischoff says, let's get this thing back under control. Let's get the ball rolling.
He's out of earshot.
Next match coming up as you see Scott Hudson being loaded up. Let's hope Scott is okay.
Yep.
He got over
And now he's on commentary for the rest of the show.
quick.
Moving on.
Bobby Duncan Jr. versus Saturn. Kurt Hennig comes out, talks about Kurt Hennig wannabes. Now my song has gone to the top, and now I've got a country music wannabe. Chad Brock or Chet Flop or whatever he called him.
Chad Brock. He's going to be on the show next week,
A country singer.
which was such good news because it means the show's going to be shorter. If he's going to do a concert.
So I'm not familiar with Chad Brock. And
I remember him being there, but I've never, like...
Kurt Hennig called him short, bald, fat, and ugly. And nobody likes people like that. I can confirm he is short, bald, and fat.
Yeah, I think Dave called him Little Van Vader.
Wow.
And then Kurt Hennig, I swear to God,
Bury this.
I swear to God, Kurt is talking about all these guys who want to be Kurt Hennig wannabes. He's ranting and raving, and then he turns to Saturn and he goes, he makes a Uranus joke about Saturn.
You're not from Saturn.
He's so happy.
And he points.
Yep.
You're not from Saturn, you're from Uranus. Saturn is furious.
So mad.
What was the show, the kids show WWF did? WWE did, where they couldn't do headshots and it was all comedy?
Oh, God, what the hell was that? WWE Kids or something.
Saturday Slam.
Saturday
Morning Slam?
Yeah. Saturday, that was it.
There it is.
This was that show by WCW. One man telling another he's from Uranus, and that man getting very angry.
But then it gets even better. Kurt Hennig says, hey, Saturn, you're from Uranus. Ha ha! Saturn proceeds to beat the shit out of the other redneck.
Yes.
And he says, Hennig, I want you. I'm so mad that you made fun of my anus. I want you right now. So, Kurt Hennig goes, I'm in my street clothes. Saturn's in his gear because he was getting ready for a match.
Mm-hmm.
Hennig goes, I'm in my street clothes. But he goes, you know what? I'm better in bar fights anyway. So in his street clothes, unprepared, he goes into the ring and he beats the shit out of Saturn. He beat him up for like 10 minutes. I was like, could you have made into a bigger geek than they did here on this show?
So Saturn makes his comeback. He had planted, the bell rang, he hit a DVD on Duncombe, he challenged Hennig, Hennig hit the ring, and the bell rang again.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Here he hits a DVD on Hennig, the Wyndham's attack for the DQ.
Yep. Who's at ringside? Eric Bischoff, who for weeks has been giving his fucking speeches
Right.
about how, we made a lot of mistakes, but we're going to turn this show around. I'm going to really lay down the law. These rednecks run in, he's like, oh man, bunch of rednecks in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. DQ. Could not give a shit less.
So eventually, Malenko and Douglas run out in Queen House. Bischoff says, they must have gotten word about what was going on. There are no monitors in the back. Okay, A, I find that very hard to believe.
What?
B, they only watch their buddies' matches if there's monitors convenient. Show where there's sneak attacks and sabotages and ambushes every week.
Yes.
Chris Benoit versus DDP.
Am I the only one that was bored by this match?
No, the announcers were very clearly bored.
Audience is dead quiet.
I enjoyed the match.
It was
okay.
It was a fine TV match that absolutely nobody cared about. I think Benoit debuted the Rolling Germans here. First time I remember him using them. Let's see. David Flair runs out, gets knocked off the apron. Page hits a roll-up. Benoit reverses it and gets the win. But the attack continued. It was funny. The Jersey Triad attacks, and they distract Benoit, and Page hits a diamond cutter. They're about to get in the ring. Page holds up his hand and says, wait a second. And then I guess they left, because they disappeared from the segment. So Page hits a bunch of diamond cutters, and David Flair is out there cackling. I have no idea where Kanyon and Bigelow went. So remember that other Sid promo I talked about? You couldn't understand anything he said?
Yes.
I believe they aired that and realized no one can understand a damn thing. Let's shoot it again. Because we got another Sid promo. He was whispering again, but it was loud enough you could hear him better. So he promised his wins would pile up higher than anyone could count. I will be the Millennium Man. Yeah. I laughed.
That's on the other show, by the way, and it debuts next week.
With a much better feel.
Finally, we get the segment that made this show exciting. This is why we review Nitro second now. Macho Man Randy Savage comes out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Threatening to kill Hulk Hogan.
I'm glad of one thing. Because remember last week I tried to play math with who hates who and thus who was on what side?
Yes, sure.
Savage clarified everything here. Hogan, you're dead. Nash, you're dead. Rodman, you're real dead. Okay, he just hates everybody.
Yes,
Fine.
he's a crazy man.
I can understand this now.
He says his girlfriend George is under lock and key. She's missing. He's locked her up somewhere.
Well, she keeps getting kidnapped.
No one seems very concerned about this. Calls out Dennis Rodman, but Miss Madness comes out instead. I love Molly Holly. This was the goddamn worst acting in the history of this program. And think of the ground that covers.
She was really cute, though.
She was very cute.
I believed everything Macho Man said. I didn't believe a word she said.
She says, Macho, I can't do justice to this. I'm just going to say what she said. I know you fired me, but I want you to reconsider.
Mm-hmm.
And then she actually says a direct quote, come on, can I please be on your team again?
Right.
I tried.
She had more energy and emotion than David Flair, but no more humanity.
No.
Still something.
This was one of those robots.
This is a robot programmed.
Beats Granny at Words with Friends.
David Flair was a speak and spell. Mona was a robot badly programmed to simulate human emotion.
All I knew is I could not take my eyes off of Randy Savage's temple because you could actually see the blood pumping through the vein that was coming out of his head.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
So she wants to be on the team, and Sheen says, she is a very loyal person.
So Savage asks if she is loyal. Then he pushes her to her knees, tells her to beg for her job.
First he grabs her to the chin.
Yeah.
Then he shoves her down his crotch.
That happened.
I'm like, dude, this is getting uncomfortable.
Now?
Well, I mean, it's getting really uncomfortable.
Okay,
He's
sure.
been uncomfortable for months
It's
now.
getting more uncomfortable. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
He says, I've reconsidered, Mona. You're still fired. And then he demands Rodman come out. Now we're talking. The Macho Man Randy Savage and Dennis Rodman with live mics on WCW Monday Nitro.
So Rodman comes out. He looks 8 feet tall and 100 pounds.
Yep.
And partly because he is flanked by two of the bigger No Limit soldiers.
4x4 and swole.
And they sure were.
Yeah.
So they bleeped him, but he picks up the mic. He very clearly says, "Hey, Macho."
Excuse me?
Asshole.
You can say it on the air, you
I was doing
jackass.
video for
Well, we're listening.
customers.
Okay. Well, for the rest of us, what did he say?
Macho asshole.
Okay.
So Macho calls Rodman a bitch. Rodman calls Macho a bitch.
Oh, Vinny. Rodman mumbles something I can understand. And then he says, Macho, don't you know, once you go black, you never go back.
Right.
Randy Savage then says, just because you've been somebody else's bitch all your life doesn't mean you can come after mine. At that point, Bischoff loses his mind.
Yeah.
He goes, cut audio! Somebody cut off their mics!
All of a sudden he's in charge again.
And then they actually cut their audio. Because the mics go flying, you don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
So, Bischoff's just sweating his balls off. These two fucking guys are just going crazy. Mona gives Savage a low blow. Rodman starts dropping elbows on the guy. I can't wait to see this match.
And then he's in the ring demanding a mic, and nobody's obliged.
Yeah, he's like, give me a mic. And Bischoff says, don't give a mic. Do not give that man a mic.
Is this me, or when he dropped that first elbow, did he miss his target so badly that his ass landed on Savage's face?
He probably did.
It looked like he killed him with one of them.
He had great speed, though.
I'll say.
He was quite an athlete.
He's a
Macho has
fabulous
speed,
athlete.
too.
Yes.
Vampiro versus Eddie Guerrero.
That segment was awesome. So great.
Oh, I'm glad Brian enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I want to see this upcoming match. Or what is it, the Road Wild?
Road Wild.
We've got to watch that match. We got to watch it.
Okay.
Vampiro versus Eddie Guerrero. So Vampiro was hanging out with Raven and Insane Clown Posse, and apparently using an Insane Clown Posse song.
They got the extendo entrance, man.
Dude,
They played the entire song.
Jeez.
And well, they played a song.
Yeah, they did
'Cause
some
I'm quite
wacky
certain.
song over it.
I'm certain this is not their song. So we were watching it in 2018, and you don't get to hear Insane Clown Posse. It's just a generic rock song for 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Vampiro sort of dastardly heels. Vampiro's high-fiving everyone, hugging fans. Bischoff plugs the Nitro Girls pay-per-view by saying the footage is so hot, we can't even show it on air to promote it. Wow. Yeah. So they're doing this match. Raven and the Clown, most of the clowns really are interfering a lot. Eddie makes his comeback, wipes out everybody. When he goes up top, then Raven interferes. He pushes him off the top rope, and Vampiro hits the Michinoku driver for the win. So last week, when Vampiro had the win, the clowns jumped in for the DQ. I guess he smartened them up. Let me pin this guy, and then come in and kill him?
Yeah, they're smart. It's just stupid booking.
The funniest thing about this, Bischoff was still apologizing during this match for the previous segment.
Yeah. It's exciting.
So Ray Jr. and Conan run out to make the save.
I'd have to say that everybody loved the clowns and Vampire and Raven doing their entrance. Then the match started. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the main event with Hulk Hogan on commentary.
Now, this is not quite as bad as on Raw, where they advertised a match and then didn't deliver. They teased a match here between Hogan and Nash for the main event, and then when you get to the main event, you find out it's not there. So Hogan goes out to do commentary. It's Rick Steiner and Sid versus Sting and Goldberg. I don't know what music the heels had here.
What in the
It's like
hell?
a happy dance song.
It was like what we used for your finish.
I was gonna get a striped shirt on and go clubbing. It's good music. So
Goldberg's over.
Then Goldberg comes out. They play Megadeth.
Yeah, he's over a huge.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So speaking of huge, the lump on Goldberg's head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was funny because Bischoff said it's the size of an orange. I'm like, come on, and then he turned sideways. Oh my god, that's the size of an orange.
Most oranges
It's a
are not this
watermelon.
big. And it is in fact super glued shut because you can see the
Yep.
line running down the back.
Yep. Sabu was there.
So it's Goldberg. He's indestructible. This giant hematoma on his skull. There's nothing to slow him down. They're doing this match. It's pretty crappy.
Dude, it's horrible, and the crowd is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless Hulk Hogan. Like, I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing.
Really?
On commentary, he's trying to act like it's WrestleMania 3. He's so excited about all this stuff that's going on. Everybody in the crowd is dead.
So Sting goes to use Steiner goes to use a chair. A four-way breaks out. Steiner goes to use a chair. Hogan grabs it. He bonks Steiner. He bonks Sid. That's a disqualification.
Okay, I don't want to... So listen. There's no reason to ever hit somebody in the head with a chair. Because there's two options. You either hit him really, really hard, and that's a bad idea, or you do what Hogan does here, and you give him the lightest chair shots of all time, and it looks like complete shit. Just grab the chair and hit him as hard as you can in the back. You ain't gonna hurt anybody. Nobody's gonna die. It's gonna look and sound good. Hogan's chair shots to the head. I have to mention this because if I make fun of his weak chair shots, I'll have 15 fuckers ranting that I talk about chair shots to the head. Now I'm complaining that you hit him very hard.
Yep.
Don't hit him at all in the head. It's a bad idea whether you hit him too hard or too soft.
So Goldberg, maybe he was hurt more than we realized because he wrestled in the match, but he didn't do a lot, and they didn't even do a hot tag. Sting got beat up. They did a DQ.
Yeah.
Goldberg running into Steiner like in the first 10 seconds of this match, like two freight trains crashing.
When you talk about reasons to watch Road Wild,
good grief.
I do want to watch Bill Goldberg wrestle Rick Steiner.
Dude, maybe that's going to have to be a potpourri.
That sounds like
A
fun.
Rodman match
And Bill Goldberg Steiner.
Goldberg
And
Steiner.
there is a perverse part of me that actually does want to watch Hogan and Nash.
Well, it was worse, according to Dave, than Dennis Rodman and Randy Savage fighting in a porta potty.
I can easily see that.
I think we probably have to watch that match.
We may have to.
That's 3.
We'll see how it goes. So,
Is there any match we want to watch on SummerSlam?
I don't even know what's on.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. So Nash comes through the crowd. He powerbombs Hogan through the announce desk, and the show ends.
I love how Bobby just, I don't need to be here. He knew there was a powerbomb coming onto the table. He didn't want to be anywhere near.
Well, you're right. There's also the storyline of Hogan coming out, and he's only been feuding with Hogan for 30 years at this point.
I just love
there's
it.
that.
4 years earlier, I think it was, maybe 5, there was that famous Kevin Nash-Bret Hart match where Nash powerbombs him through a table,
Right.
which nobody will ever forget. And here we are in 1999, Kevin Nash powerbombs Hogan through a table, literally as the graphic is on the screen to end the show. Hogan crashes through this fucking table, and they're off the air.
Yeah.
This show. It's so exciting, though.
It felt 5 hours long.
It was a long fucking show.
Yep.
With no lack of excitement. All right, everybody.
Hey,
Yes.
music.
Oh, god damn. You're right. Let's do this.
I write this down. Payoffs, I get to read them. The finishes on this show were pin after foiled interference, clean pin in what I guess was a handicap match, clean pin, no finish in a match that went 5 seconds, DQ due to rednecks, pin after foiled interference, pin after interference, DQ due to interference.
That's it.
A lot of bad finishes.
That's the whole point.
Hey, listen, the convention's coming up.
It sure is.
I'll be there. Vinny's there.
I'll be there.
I presume Craig's not there.
I'm on tour, baby.
Craig's on tour, but he won't be there. August 16th through 20th, in conjunction with SummerSlam weekend, there is a theater viewing of SummerSlam. There is a Las Vegas buffet. There is a banquet.
Just one.
There is a Future Stars, those mini buffets.
One we all go to together.
Future Stars of Wrestling show. I believe the show is called Girl Power. although I will be wrestling on it,
How fitting.
conveniently against Peach Machine. It's myself
fitting.
and Jack Jameson against Peach Machine and Mikey G. I'll be in the ring at the Future Stars show if you want to check that out. There's information up on the Facebook page for that, and a lot of other stuff as well. Yes, there will be a lot of buffets, so fear not.
And alcohol.
I think a sweet party is happening.
There's a sweet party.
Yep,
There'll be a lot of goings on, and you'll have a great time with us and all of our wacky friends.
that's right. So
And
if you want to go, easiest thing is to go to the front page and go to a daily update, anyone, scroll down to the bottom, there's all the information there. There's a link to ticketing information for some of the big events, and also the convention Facebook page as well. So check it out. We'll see hopefully many of you there. It'll be an awesome time. Anyone ever not had fun during the Vegas convention?
I can't imagine that's possible.
I mean, I did the year that I paid for the suite that Ed couldn't afford, but, I mean, aside from that, I mean, everybody has fun at the
The
convention.
only time I didn't have fun was the time I couldn't afford to stay very long. I had to leave early.
That was not fun
That
as well.
bummed me out bad.
Yeah, but you'll have fun at the convention, everybody, so make sure you go. And that's it, everybody. We will... Oh, one other thing. I just want to plug that tomorrow on Wrestling Observer Live, Sean Mooney
Oh,
is going to be on the show.
Wow.
Very excited to talk to Sean Mooney, so don't miss that Observer Live. And that's it. We will talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.
From the Figure 4, beautiful Bothell, Washington.